Hey, welcome to Happy Tales of Happy Tales, the podcast where you'll hear stories of the way pups have touched our hearts and our lives. So for the next few minutes, let everything else go and just listen and smile. I'm your host, Julie Jackson. Good morning, friends, and welcome to Happy Tales of Happy Tales. I just wanted to share something with y'all this morning, just kind of a thought that I had and an experience. I don't even know where to start. Bear with me. I just rolled out of bed, but we had a little dog, Roscoe, and I'll talk more about Roscoe later. And he was just a really special little guy. We lost Roscoe about almost 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. It was really sudden, and he was also just one of those once-in-a-lifetime kind of guys, kind of dogs. Also, just a little bit of history. I like to make things. I like to build things. A while back, our dog, Roscoe included, he only had 3 legs, so he was handy-capable, and some of our girls are getting older. And so we sold our bedroom furniture, and I designed and built a king-size bed that has a built-in set of stairs so the dogs could get up there to be with us without having to jump. Then afterwards, I thought, I think it would be fun just to build a little dog bed that looks like a little doggy day bed that matches that. So I built it and thought, well, I might sell it because our dogs aren't going to use it because they've got a king-size Tempur-Pedic that they allow us to sleep in that I just built stairs to. We kind of ended up just putting that day bed eventually in our room, but for a while it didn't get any use, and it just kind of sat there. And then suddenly little Roscoe started using it, and he would always come up and snuggle with me. But sometimes in the middle of the night, he would go, and that was just kind of his place. And the way it was positioned across the room from the foot of our bed on my side of the bed. And it was offset just a little bit. I'm on the right side, and it was offset just a little bit to the right. And Roscoe would lay in that bed with his little head looking towards the foot of our bed, and almost like he was peeking around. And I would lean over to the right, and he would look up at me, and he would just be watching me. So he was kind of my little guardian angel from the foot of the bed down on that little doggy day bed I built. And sorry, I'm going to get a little emotional. So Roscoe got very suddenly sick. We weren't expecting it, and he declined really quickly. And he spent the last days of his life, and literally the last day of his life, in that bed. So it just kind of became Roscoe's bed. We bought a little Tempur-Pedic pad to go in it with the other pad on top of it to make it more comfortable and everything. And so it's really a nice little bed, but that was kind of his spot. Roscoe's been gone, and so the bed has just sat empty. Ricky, my husband, has said, hey, a couple times, Ricky leaves really early in the mornings for work, so he's up in what most normal people consider the middle of the night. He said, hey, a couple times I've gotten up and Barney is in the bed. I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. I said, I've never seen anyone else use that bed. It just sits empty. He goes, no, I think Barney's using it. So let me go back and tell you a little bit about Barney. We sometimes refer to Barney and his brother Chuck collectively as the Floofs. They're ridiculous. They're Husky, Malamute, German Shepherd, White Swiss Shepherd, Arctic Wolf mixes. They're beautiful, and they look like they would be these regal, amazing, stunning dogs, and they are ridiculous. Their personalities are so different. Chuck is very chill. Barney is very busy. Chuck saunters, Barney tinks. Chuck is the aloof floof, and Barney is the king derp. He's the one that, will look at you with this huge smile on his face and his tongue's hanging out the side of his mouth. And Barney has his eyes are a little more closely set together. And it's so funny because we joke that he has shifty eyes. And because he's very mischievous, I always refer to him as a shifty mother fluffer. There's just something about his little face, though. They both have really sweet faces, but his little face he's got this little face that's irresistible. And it has to be because he's so bad. Anyway, I'm trying in the mornings to ease out of bed. They always say that it's best to And I don't disagree with this, to eat the frog, to jump out of bed and do the thing you dread most and get it over with. And that's a really, really sound plan, but it doesn't really work for me sometimes because it's too, I feel like I'm crashing into my day. And also I will find so many excuses to not get out of bed just because I'm not excited about what I'm about to go do. So what I have started doing recently is instead I do look forward to, I listen to a podcast every morning of scripture verses. Well, I listen to the verses and then a podcast that just talks about what those scripture verses covered. Shout out to the Bible Recap, and it gets you through the Bible in a year. If anyone's interested, super great podcast and program. Sometimes I love to just start that before I get out of bed and just lay there and listen to it. And then I'll start with some prayer or meditation. Sorry, I'm not sure who's joining us, but there's someone in the background that is chiming in too. I think it might be Lily. Anyway, then I'll just have some prayer and meditation and maybe read for a little bit. There've been some things lately that I've really just been struggling with. And there's some things that I've been in prayer about for a really long time. For whatever reason, God's holding me here. I'm learning to trust and hopefully have more patience. So this morning I was just really kind of in prayer and kind of in that place of, okay, are you hearing me? Like, I know you're hearing me, but at the same time, I just have that doubt and I don't know if you're hearing me. Then I heard this like unfamiliar noise and I thought, what was that? That's weird. And I lean over, I'm sitting in bed and I lean over just a little bit to the right, and peeking at me from that dog bed was Barney's sweet little face watching me, just like Roscoe did, in the same spot where Roscoe used to lay. And Roscoe was kind of my guardian angel in a sense. And whenever I was struggling, he knew, and he would always reassure me. He would always snuggle me. I know it sounds crazy, but it was such a sweet reassurance. Yes, I'm here. You're still being watched over. I'm still with you. I'm hearing you. I'm not ignoring you. You just have to wait. But in the meantime, here's this ridiculous derp to wait with you. So I guess while I love the stories of the ridiculous things they do and, all the countless things we found in our bed that don't belong in a bed, I love the times too that God uses dogs to remind us that we're loved and that we're important and that we're valued and that we're appreciated. And in today's case, that we're heard. So anyway, thanks for bearing with me as I'm being kind of a blubbering idiot, but I really appreciate your listen. Have a wonderful week. Go home, love on those dogs, see all the wonderful things they bring in your life, and smooch your pooch. Thanks, y'all. Thank you so much for joining me today. I know that you are busy, and I really appreciate that you chose to spend some of your time with me. So let's do a little bit of bookkeeping before we head out. If you enjoy this and you would like to receive the episodes automatically without having to seek them out, then in your podcatcher, follow or subscribe. And that way, every time an episode drops, it'll show up for you and you'll know that it's there. Makes it super easy. You don't have to think about it. Please go visit the website. It's really cute. It's got puppy pictures. Also, I've got a free gift for you over there if you will go check it out. And if you would like to message me, if you have any suggestions, specific pup stories you want to hear, or even better, if you want to share a story, you can message me right there from the website. That's the best way to get to me for that. Check us out on all the different socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, all of them. That's where you'll see pictures of the pups that we talk about each week. Also just other fun pup things. I'm going to put episodes on YouTube as well. Sometimes the episodes are recorded via Zoom, and so there's video. A lot of times it's just us talking, but every now and then there are some fun cameos from puppies, or there's shenanigans in the background, and you can catch all that on YouTube. If you want to help me out, if you would leave a positive review and share the podcast, that would be fantastic. I would be really grateful. And once again, if you want to help me out, I would love to share your story. So please hit me up and let's schedule a time that we can talk. Some people have shared their stories in writing. Some people have gotten on the phone and done a chat with me. So we can do whatever you are most comfortable with. Finally, do not forget that you are as great as your dog thinks you are, and go smooch your pooch. Thanks, y'all.